Құрметті әріптестер, орталық коммуникациялар қызметінің алаңына қош келдіңіздер. Бүгінгі тақырыбымыз Астана келешек технологиялар алаңы. Добрый день, уважаемые коллеги, дамы и господа. Добро пожаловать на площадку службы центральных коммуникаций. Сегодня мы расскажем о развитии стартапов в Казахстане, а также наши специально приглашенные гости поделятся своим опытом. Аталған тақырып бойынша толық ақпаратты біздің арнайы шақырылған қонақтарымыз беретін болады. Таныстыруға рұқсат етіңіздер. Мұнай және газ ақпараттық талдау орталығы акционерлік қоғамы бас директорының міндетін атқарушы Асқар Мұнара. Америка құрама штаттарының Convert Coal Incorporated ортақ негізін қалаушы Дэниел Ингланд. Австралияның Black Tattoo ортақ негізін қалаушы Клинтон Бурчет. Израильдің Arganus Technologies LTD ортақ негізін қалаушы Дэвид Бинолье. Калифорниялық таза энергия қорының сарапшысы New Energy Nexus бағдарламасының ортақ құрылтайшысы және басшысы Хендрик Тисинга. Құрметті қонақтар, қош келдіңіздер, уважаемые гости, добро пожаловать на площадку службы центральных коммуникаций. Первое слово я бы хотела предоставить Аскар Мунара. Вам, пожалуйста, слово.
Рахмет. Добрый день, уважаемые журналисты. Мы рады вас вновь видеть. Вот как мы обещали, мы в Астане собрали 100 самых крутых стартап-проектов из 37 стран мира. И вот буквально завтра, в течение дня, они покажут свои уникальные изобретения, уникальные проекты казахстанской молодежи, всем посетителям данного мероприятия. А наши уважаемые жюри в течение последних 5 месяцев отобрали самые лучшие, самые актуальные, самые интересные 100 проектов, которые, скажем так, возможно, изменят наш мир. А вот сегодня мы собрали, наверное, я много не буду говорить, а предоставим слово нашим гостям. Спасибо.
Спасибо вам. Я бы хотела слово предоставить. Дэниел Ингланд, вам, пожалуйста.
Hello. Thank you for having me here. It's great to be with you all. I'm Daniel England of Convert Coal Incorporated. We are a U.S. Energy firm. We have clean energy from coal, and the background of our company is it's a technology that was developed in part by the U.S. Department of Energy. Since that time, we've added a team of experts and reimagined the technology from them. And now we have a technology that is a pre-treatment of coal. Should I just take this on? Now we have a technology that is a pre-treatment of coal that produces clean energy from coal and crude oil. The chief problem that we're solving is burning coal to make electricity is dirty, and the costs to clean it up are immense. Cleanup technologies fitted to the back end of a coal-fired power plant are expensive, and other technologies like wind and solar and things like that often produce duplicate infrastructure. They're often not available 24 hours a day. So our project, as I say, creates a clean energy from coal, and the byproduct of this is a synthetic crude oil. What's wonderful about that is that the value of the crude oil is enough to pay for the clean coal process and then make a profit besides that. The clean coal is something that is so clean that it will meet US EPA standards, EU standards, and can be fed directly to a power plant without the need for any cleanup equipment. The crude oil is something akin to West Texas Intermediate. What's I guess innovative about that is that generally having to deal with a cleanup process is an expense, and this is an opportunity to actually make a profit for doing that. Our technology is designed to be placed with existing infrastructure, existing pipelines, existing power plants, and it's designed to be placed in coal-rich countries. Kazakhstan, Eastern Europe, where we can mate it with existing power plants. But our company is a startup company, and we have the struggles that startup companies have. So to give a little personal success story is, even though our technology was designed in the U.S., based in the U.S., we actually had little interest in the U.S. And after some time of kind of having no success in the U.S., we decided to take it elsewhere and look at the places that are really dependent on coal, that are invested in coal. And so we went to the Wolf Summit Startup Fest in Warsaw. And there, much to our delight, we were greeted. People were very interested in our technology, and we were given an offer even our first day. So we are involved with a clean energy incubator in Warsaw, Poland. And so that's my little success story.
Thank you. Следующее слово хотим предоставить Клинтон Бурчет. Пожалуйста, вам слово.
Hi, thank you for having me. It's the first time in Kazakhstan, and Astana is a very lovely city. So I'm here with my drone, and the problem we're trying to solve is drone deliveries are only accurate to plus or minus 5 meters. This GPS here is only accurate to plus or minus 5 meters. So in order for this drone to deliver, I would need an area 10 by 10 meters in order to make that delivery. So what we've done is attach a camera to the bottom of the drone, which is the same camera you have in your mobile phone. Inside here, we've printed 3D casing, and we have a small computer in here. Now, this camera can see marks that we've put on the ground and make a delivery. This is what we'll deliver with near millimeter accuracy. This means that you can receive deliveries at high-rise buildings or anywhere that doesn't have a big area. So it's perfect for cities. So we're here at the New Energy Expo to display that technology. Thank you.
Спасибо вам. Пожалуйста, следующее слово мы предоставляем Дэвид Беноле. Please.
Rehmet, thank you for welcoming us. Just a few words about our company. Both me and my partner are from France. We immigrated to Israel about 10 years ago. My partner is a Berkeley PhD in nanophotonics. He made the front page of Science magazine, and he had articles in Science magazine. So the problem that we're trying to solve is that if you take a look at the way energy is being transported and the way electricity is being transported, actually it's the same technology and the same paradigm that has been used since 130 years. You take some electricity, you bring it into high voltage, you transport it into high voltage over some distance and bring it down into low voltage as close to its consumption point as possible. Even though it's the only technology that we know as of today, this has several limits. First of all, you have up to 30% of losses in times of peak hour, and you also have some strong environmental issues, and you have huge investment costs. And this also has a lot of consequences on solar energy, because technically you cannot see any utility scale solar power plant more than 100 miles away from the place where the electricity is being consumed. So our idea is to actually transport energy in the form of light and not in the form of electricity. Meaning that you will be able to bring solar power from the Sahara Desert to Paris or to London, or to bring the solar potential that you have in places that are abundantly exposed to solar energy, such as New Mexico, Nevada, or Southern California, to the East Coast, New York City, or Chicago. How do we do this? We're using a special type of optical fibers that has been developed in the late 90s, which is called photonic crystal fibers, and which allow the transport of very high quantities of energy. They're currently being used for laser transportation, and we adapt them to solar power transportation. In this fiber, which is 200 microns wide, you're able to transport up to 1 kilowatt of solar energy, which means that in a 25 centimeter bundle of these fibers, you would be able to transport up to 1 gigawatt of energy. We're very grateful to Kazakhstan, to the Republic of Kazakhstan, to welcoming us today for this great fair. And we really believe that the initiative that has been developed by the Republic of Kazakhstan should be looked at as a role model for the rest of the world. You are giving the tools to the people who are trying to change the way we look at energy to actually make that change. Kazakhstan has been overwhelmingly blessed with power, with oil, with gas. And I think it's really a great testimony to the rest of the world that such a country is saying this is the place where we need to think about what is happening tomorrow once all these fossil fuels have been used. Ahmed.
Спасибо вам. Следующее слово мы хотели бы предоставить Хендрик Синга, пожалуйста.
Hello, my name is Hendrik. I work for the California Clean Energy Fund. Thank you for hosting us here in Kazakhstan. It's really exciting for us to be here with such a big group of startups. The California Clean Energy Fund is not a startup. We invest in startups, and we've been doing that for over a decade in California primarily. We invested in we were one of the early investors in Tesla, the company that you all know. Unfortunately, we sold our stake early on, otherwise we would have been very rich by now. We're a non-profit, so we reinvest our profits into the next generation of investments. And I'm leading a program called New Energy Nexus, where we want to take the lessons from Silicon Valley and California into the world. So California is currently a leader in clean energy. Silicon Valley is one of the highest concentrations of clean energy startups. And so we feel that our mission as the California Clean Energy Fund to spread clean technologies is to some extent in reach in California. And so we want to work more internationally and work closely with international partners. So our New Energy Nexus program is supporting startups worldwide, and we work with incubators and accelerators around the world. Here in Asia, we work closely with the Asian Development Bank, and we also have a partner here in Kazakhstan called the MOST Incubator, M-O-S-T. So we're really excited that the Republic of Kazakhstan has invited over 100 startups to come here today. It really fits our mission, and we want to support this initiative and help support the next wave of clean energy entrepreneurs around the world. Thank you.
Спасибо вам. Уважаемые коллеги, мы переходим к вопросам. Есть ли желающие задать вопросы по теме пресс-конференции нашим гостям? Құрметті әріптестер, тақырыпқа қатысты сұрақтарыңыз бар ма? Пожалуйста, Казправда.
Казахстанская правда, Александра Власова. У меня вопрос к гостям. Увидели ли вы представленные на выставке New Energy казахстанские стартапы, и как международные эксперты, как международным экспертам, какие из казахстанских стартапов вам особенно запомнились, понравились, показались наиболее прогрессивными, и можете ли вы об этом рассказать? Спасибо.
Наверное, я отвечу на данный вопрос. К сожалению, наши гости, они еще не ознакомились со стартапами, потому что мероприятие у нас пройдет завтра, 27 числа. Наши гости буквально час назад, сегодня утром только прилетели. Я думаю, что они ознакомятся с казахстанскими стартапами завтра в течение дня во Дворце независимости.
Можно узнать завтрашнюю программу?
Именно с Казахстана участвует 5 стартап-компаний у нас. Наверное, мы сейчас каждый из них не будем перечислять. Надеемся, что вы завтра примете участие в нашем мероприятии и на месте ознакомитесь. Спасибо.
Спасибо вам. Уважаемые коллеги, пожалуйста, следующий вопрос.
Добрый день, Казинформ. Мой вопрос к Хендрику Тисингу. Будьте добры, ответьте, пожалуйста, какие сферы Clean Tech наиболее актуальны сейчас?
Sorry, just to get your questions, which areas of clean technology are...
Общий спрашивают.
Okay. So in general, the areas that we are very excited about at the moment is storage. And so battery storage, we all know the big Tesla mega factory that's being built in Nevada, but there's other places also in China where there's big battery manufacturing. And so as the price of batteries goes down, that will allow electric vehicles and also solar adoption to accelerate. So this is one of the areas that we as California Clean Energy Fund are looking into.
Спасибо вам. Пожалуйста, следующий вопрос.
Ortcom. Dear guest speakers, welcome to Kazakhstan. What could you advise young Kazakhstani startup entrepreneurs? And is there a way to collaborate with investors and angel investors of your country? Thank you.
Уважаемые коллеги, гости, кто желает ответить на этот вопрос?
Okay. So our advice to entrepreneurs is that this is clean energy and clean technology is it's the kind of the next technology wave. It has a lot of potential to start businesses in and make a good income and money, and make a positive contribution also to climate change in those kind of areas. To get investment from other countries, I think actually what is interesting that we are here in Kazakhstan and there's a lot of money in the energy industry, and that as the festival tomorrow shows that there is actually money here in Kazakhstan being invested into international startups. So if you're a Kazakh startup, you're actually in the right place. But as you want to expand, places like California and Europe, there are opportunities to raise funding there, and we could definitely help with that and help make those connections. But I think these startups, they have a lot of experience doing this, so they should speak for it.
If I could give one advice to the Kazakh young startups that want to do interesting things, I think it's go ahead and run. If you have an idea, if you have something that you believe in, if you have something that you think can change your neighborhood, change your country, change the world, then you should go ahead and try to talk about it to as many people as you can. Try to get feedback, and if the more you will work on it, the better it will be.
I have some advice. When I first entered a competition similar to the new energy competition, the barrier to entry was as simple as making a video. And the video I made got me into the competition, and it didn't cost very much, but it illustrated how my innovation could work in real life. And that was enough to convince someone that my idea was good enough to send me to Dubai to participate in the Drones for Good competition. So I recommend start small, but you have to show people what you want to achieve.
I'll just add one comment. My recommendation would be to go to events like this, the New Energy Conference. This is my second sort of similar event, and I was amazed at the conference that I went to in Warsaw, how much synergy there was, how much enthusiasm, how much ability to network and have some things happen that were almost sort of magical in the moment. And it just wouldn't have happened if I spent some time sending emails and trying to communicate like that. So just getting there made the difference.
Спасибо вам. Пожалуйста, следующий вопрос.
К эксперту, скажите, пожалуйста, вы уже принимали же участие в отборе представленных стартапов? Как вы их оцениваете? И следующий вопрос ко всем участникам стартап-феста. Насколько вы уверены в своем стартапе и каковы шансы у вас завтра?
First questions, Hendrik Tislanga. Please. Answer. Повторите вопрос.
Первый вопрос касался, как вы оцениваете те стартапы, которые уже представлены, ведь вы участвовали в отборе этих 100 стартапов на этот фестиваль.
Yes, so I'm going to be on a jury tomorrow, and we'll be looking especially at some of the new technologies that are coming out that are very promising, but also just looking at kind of the core, the business of the technologies behind it. Like, are these profitable companies? Are they likely to succeed? Are they likely to grow? What kind of return will be getting on it? So looking at both the kind of technology side as well as from the side of my business.
I think it always helps to bring something along to show. So if I had to guess my chances, I might have higher chances than others that don't have something with pretty lights on it. So I'm fingers crossed.
I think the important thing is to be able to be here already, to meet these amazing people that we're meeting in this conference. I don't know who is going to win, who is going to be among the 30 best, the 3 best. Already being here is a great victory for each of the participants. And we're already very grateful to you to invite us and to give us the opportunity to be here.
If I had to guess, I would say I have a very good chance to make the next round. We have a technology that would be very beneficial for Kazakhstan. Bridge technology to a new age is something that's directly applicable right here and right now. And we offer a very high return.
Спасибо вам. Уважаемые коллеги, есть ли еще вопрос? Пожалуйста, представьтесь.
Бауыржан Муканов, Атамекен бизнес чанел. Менің сұрағым, қазақша айтсам аударады ғой? Менің сұрағым шетелдік қонақтарға. Қазақстанда стартаптарға жақсы қолдау бар, соның ішінде жасыл экономика, жасыл энергетикаға байланысты. Бірақ бұл мемлекеттік қолдау белгілі бір деңгейде стартапшыларға бір міндеттемелер жүктейді. Яғни аз да болса мемлекетке бір есеп беруге мәжбүр болады. Сіздер стартапты бастаушы адамдар ретінде кез келген стартапты атқаруда бір жолата тәуелсіз жұмыс істеген дұрыс деп ойлайсыз ба, жоқ әлде мемлекеттің қолдауы керек пе? Осы жағынан қай жол артық екенін айтсаңыздар. Рахмет.
Сұрағыңызға рахмет.
I think it's important to tell people what you're doing, because you never know if someone can help you. If your question was about government funding, then government funding is helpful, but you shouldn't rely on it, because it can sometimes, in my country, come with caveats, which means that it's only available to some people working on different projects. But it's always good to share what you're trying to achieve, because you never know who's going to be able to help you in the end.
I think it really depends on which project you're talking about. For example, the drone project of Clinton is one that would probably be far from using government fundings, or could very easily quickly become a profitable project. My project, on the contrary, is a project that would very much take advantage of government support, government infrastructure, because we're talking about infrastructure projects. Electricity transmission, energy transmission are very often a monopoly, almost always a monopoly in each and every country. And it's also a technological monopoly, meaning that you don't have any other option than transporting electricity with copper cables. And we're bringing the first option to actually make solar power available to the whole world.
So for startup, my interaction with government has been that it's slow and restrictive as far as just the pure startup mode, where it's idea, not very much traction. But like my colleague here, our technology is very much infrastructure technology. So when we're ready to implement, of course, we will need the cooperation of government and the help of government to get it in place.
And maybe to add finally that so the California Clean Energy Fund was initiated by the state of California, and also on a federal level in the US there's a number of programs that support early stage startups. And we see that a lot of investors and also venture capital investors, they want a very quick return, they expect very quick exits. and that doesn't always work in the kind of clean energy space. So from our point of view, it is important that there is more slow, patient capital investing in a lot of these startups. And that can come from both public funds or other sources, but it's important that there are investors that see the potential of these longer-term investment and that there's money available. In addition, you can also see a lot of this entrepreneur support services as a form of education. So governments invest in higher education already, and so investing in incubators and accelerator programs, providing relatively little investments of sometimes $10,000, $50,000, doing competitions, hackathons, really helps entrepreneurs move from 0 to 1, from an idea to an actual first kind of startup. And that doesn't have to cost a lot of money and can have a lot of return in the long run. So the use of public funds to support startups is a really a good investment from our point of view.
Спасибо вам. Уважаемые коллеги, если желаете задать вопрос, құрметті әріптестер, тағы да сұрақтарыңыз бар ма? Я хотела бы спросить, да, как в вашей стране развиваются именно вот стартапы, проекты, да, и вы сами, может, на вашем опыте расскажете, как вы вообще пришли к этому?
I had a very unusual intro to this startup. I actually got into it with a group of scientists that had developed a technology that I was describing, and it turns out that none of them could speak very well as far as in public and raising money and communicating. So they actually gradually inducted me into it and made me the spokesperson. And then I sort of changed the strategy of where we're going. So I ended up sort of, they ended up making me a large shareholder with me in charge of the strategy, and I kind of sort of backed into entrepreneurship, if you will.
Israel is called the startup nation. So technically you have one entrepreneur out of 300 people. You have startups that are that pop out with any idea every day, and you have many networks, many structures that are here to support you, to help you grow your business. Most of the venture capital firms that are based in California are also based in Tel Aviv. They often have an office in Menlo Park, California, and an office in Tel Aviv or Herzliya. So Israel is really supportive for this spirit of entrepreneurship. My partner, who is really the brain behind the project, has been my friend for 10 years. He came back from Berkeley, where he made his PhD in nanophotonics. He had these great achievements during his research. And he came up with this idea and said, listen, it's an idea that I've been thinking about. What do you think about it? And we just started making calculations, making questions to people. And we found out that it could be a real game changer, changing the way we relate to energy by changing the way we transport energy.
Thank you.
So in terms of support of startups, there's a lot of elements to a good startup ecosystem. You mentioned venture capitalists. So often the venture capitalists are entrepreneurs that already succeeded in their companies and are now investing their money into the next generation of startups. So that kind of depends on a history of entrepreneurs in your country that are investing in the next generation. On top of that, what we mentioned, public support through incubators, accelerators, investment funds can really help. In addition to research institutions where engineers come out of the research institutions, like your colleague, who then become entrepreneurs. In the clean energy space, in particular, one of the reasons why California has many clean energy startups is because California as a state has been regulating in favor of solar energy, electric vehicles, battery storage, a lot of the kind of areas of the new energy economy that has created a market that in combination with the pre-existing startup ecosystem really helped startups to grow. So that's one of the reasons why, particularly also in the field of clean energy, there's a very high concentration of startups in California, and why companies like Tesla and Solar City are based, in California. So it's on many different levels. It's the investment climate. It's the regulation for clean energy. It's having supportive institutions like incubators and accelerators.
Thank you for your question. I can tell you my startup story was I've always had an interest in drones and what they can do for people, not just fly around. And I always wanted them to deliver things to me because I thought that was quite cool. So after I saw what Amazon were trying to do, I thought, how can they deliver to me if I live in an apartment? Because they can only deliver to the ground. And so I sat on that idea for a while, and I thought someone will come up with a solution. So for nearly 2 years, I read everything on the internet waiting for this solution to arrive, and it never arrived. So I thought, I'll give it a go. So from there, we've developed this. I went and saw an engineer. I said, this is what I want to achieve. How do I do that? And he said, well, maybe we can do it like this. And then we made a video, which I hope to show you later. And we got accepted into the Drones for Good competition, as I told you. We ended up coming 4th in the world. And we beat out teams from MIT and Singapore University, which I'm very proud of.
Спасибо вам. Уважаемые коллеги, есть ли желающие задать вопрос, пожалуйста.
Скажите, пожалуйста, а какова грузоподъемность у ваших беспилотных аппаратов и максимально какая? И будет ли она, скажем, перевозить груз свыше 50 килограммов? Потому что Казахстан, как и Австралия, богата теми же самыми же овцами, и чтобы перевозить хотя бы тот же груз.
Thank you for your question. Yes, we have something in common, sheep. I think in Australia there were more sheep than people for a while. So this drone is only one step up from a toy. So currently it can only carry 200 grams. But as I said before, we only produce this part here, so we can put that on a bigger drone and carry more things. When it comes to carrying sheep, I'm not so sure that will be in the near future. I have the video. Do you want me to explain what's going on in the video? Okay, so our next development will be the drone loading box. So a drone can use the technology that we've had to get loaded. It can fly across the city using GPS. Then when it reaches there, it will signal a net to appear. It can use our technology to line itself up accurately and make the delivery. The net will then suck itself back inside and you can receive the package safely. Without this system, the drone will need to land and the spinning rotor blades could come into contact with children or pets. So we maintain the safety and the security when it comes to drone deliveries.
Спасибо вам, уважаемые коллеги. Есть ли желающие задать вопрос? Если вопросов нет, мы благодарим вас, уважаемые гости, за очень интересную беседу. На этом время нашей работы подошло к концу. Благодарим всех за внимание.